So now we turn to lettings. Lettings is in a very different place to sales. 55% of agents reported a decline in landlords last year. And while there are growth opportunities, it's clearly a very challenging market. So, Toby, how can agents adapt to the significant regulatory pressure that's coming down the line and also at the same time differentiate their offerings to attract and retain landlords in 2025?
Good question. There are opportunities for growth, but it's hard because, like you say, 55% of letting agents saw a decrease in the number of landlords they work with in 2024. But actually, we're a bunch of optimists because only 18% think that that's going to continue this year. And I think perhaps we are optimistic letting agents. We're bashed over the head with continual legislation. That's continuing to happen. And so what we're seeing, obviously, is we've got the Renters' Rights Bill looming like a spectre on the horizon. And the industry is up in arms about the Rights Bill, but I'm going to let you in on a secret. I love the Renters' Rights Bill. It is a wonderful opportunity for our sector. And yes, I know it is imperfect to say the least, but it is laden with opportunity for those agents willing to adapt and innovate. Just like taking you back to the Tenant Fees Act in 2019, where less innovative agents did fall by the wayside and created opportunities for stronger agents who can stand out from the crowd, then I do feel like a similar thing may happen in the wake of the Renters' Rights Bill. So in terms of opportunity, something that I am always banging on about is for agents us letting agents, we have so many hats. We're customer service agents, we're sometimes therapists for tenants to sob on our shoulders. The one that we often forget is that we're educators, and that is very often the best form of marketing and way of building trust with your potential audience. And the Renters' Rights Bill comes with overwhelming possibility to educate your audience. So my advice to letting agents is to embrace your role as an educator. You can run webinars, you can run landlord events, you can build knowledge hubs on your website laden with informative videos, set up your own landlord academy to teach. Landlords are worried, and I hate to say it, but worried landlords is great for letting agents because we can take that opportunity to hold their hand and be there when they need support. So that is, from my perspective, the way to stand out from the crowd, the way to grow over the next few years is to inform, educate, and build trust with your market.
And entertain.
Yeah.
It's not interesting, it won't be watched.
Yeah.
I mean, Christopher, how is the lettings market doing generally?
Would it surprise you that the actual number of rental properties in the UK is actually growing?
It wouldn't surprise me. It's always counter-logical.
The biggest challenge to us at lettings at the moment is OpenRent. When you consider that if OpenRent was a letting agent, the number 2 all the way through to number 14 or 15 would have to amalgamate to be the same size. They're presently taking 17-18% of the market. The scary thing is this: out of all those, it's 51% of the properties that have come on the market with OpenRent in the last 2 years were previously on the market with a high street agent. That is the biggest challenge that letting agents have, Simon, is the fact is that we are like swans. All we do is we're busily underground with our feet sorting out all the problems, and all we do is ring up the landlord saying there's a problem. When was the last time you sat down with a landlord and actually went through their portfolio and talked about their investment? We just don't. We need to be better at our job, not just ringing landlords up with problems. We need to give them investment advice, and if we do that, they will come back to us. I think what Toby said is absolutely bang on. The Renters' Right Bill is a fantastic opportunity, but the magic thing is you've got to grasp it. You've got to get in contact with, you've got to join Property Mark, because they're going to give you so much credibility and also lots of weapons that you can use against your landlord to get more landlords. Your job is to persuade your existing landlords not to swap and bring other landlords in from the cold into you. If you do that, you'll win.
You say challenge, I say opportunity. That massive pool of open rent landlords, do we think they're all compliant? Do we think they all know what they're doing?
Yeah.
If you can get in front of them, it's a massive opportunity.
Yeah.
Kirsty, from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I know you want us to try and argue on this panel. It's a bit more entertaining.
Oh no, agreement has broken out. England, you're on the spot for being difficult.
No, but I think, if you approach your marketing strategy for lettings in the same way as you do sales, you're going to be disappointed, because this is absolutely about being an advisor, having a relationship with your landlords, being the expert, constantly putting useful information out there. Within TPFG, we see renters' rights absolutely as an opportunity as well. We've gone out to every single landlord offering reviews and sitting down, having conversations and talking about what the future holds, being there with them at their side. And that's how we're going to make waves in terms of lettings. We can turn on as many PPC campaigns as you like to try and get new leads, but you won't get the results.
It's the long game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the long game.
Conscious of our time, a final question on the letting side, it's an interesting one, is keeping landlords in the market, big issue, by 10%. Keeping up with legislative changes, 10%. Finding new landlords, 24%. Number one, we did some research on this last year, is keeping up with new technology. Who would like to take that one?
I can take that one.
Meg can take that one.
I'll take that.
Meg can take that one.
It really surprised me, that one. And the reason it surprised me is, and one thing that I think we need to be mindful of when we're working with lettings people, if you look at the personality traits of a property manager versus, say, somebody that's a valuer, asking a property manager to go out and do a Toby-esque style video is like the worst thing you could possibly do. Yeah. And I think that with, making sure that we're getting the right people in front of camera, making sure people feel comfortable on camera is so important as well. But with technology, I find that typically the lettings personality type often really embraces technology. So it really surprises me that that's a massive concern for people. I think that it depends on what technology we're talking about. Now, I've seen a lot of really great technologies that you can do referencing through and take it all the way through the platform. The big thing that scares me about technology is if you get something wrong, or it doesn't, the automatic nature of that tech doesn't work, the long-term impact on, say, like notice to tenants is huge. So I can understand that there may be a fear element to, well, what if that doesn't happen? What if the wrong how to rent guide goes out?
Brilliant. I'm just conscious of time, and I'm very aware that technology is going to come a lot in our section about marketing. So let's close this section now, and then we'll talk about concerns and marketing in the next section. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.